Once the sun has risen, the mist on the valley floor begins to lift, offering a glimpse as to what lies beneath. There's an enticing scent in the air. It appears somebody is late for breakfast. The pickings are slim for this coyote, though from her splendid condition, she's no doubt already spent some time on this carcass. The ravens have also contributed greatly to stripping it back to the bone, though there's still a little work left to be done. That, however, will have to be postponed. No one messes with the golden eagle. The death of Mavis was a blow to the herd. She was a venerable old cow, and one of the community's matriarchs. She'll be sorely missed. This spectacular specimen is Ginger. She's unique amongst the group, being the only one clad in auburn locks. She's a proud mother, and although still young, possesses the requirements to become a herd leader someday. She's also a fiend for seeking out hidden cameras on the property. Rarely does one go unnoticed by this Scottish Highland lass. Boundary fences are regularly patrolled on foot with Minnie, Cricket, and Big Johnny Cash overseeing the process. Humans are allowed to tag along, provided they follow instructions and behave themselves. In the early spring mornings, hopeful suitors gather upon hillside meadows to gobble and display their prowess. They're a popular bird targeted by hunters around these parts, and as expected, are very wary. The native band-tailed pigeon is also usually seen at higher elevations, but will descend for a drink, sometimes arriving in large flocks. The western gray squirrel is a creature we associate with the foothills and elevations of up to 2,000 meters. They're dependent on a forested habitat, explaining the fact that they're less common on the valley floor that has been subjected to extensive clearing. They build stick nests and sleeping platforms in the trees and often travel in the safety of the canopy. Time on the ground is spent foraging, mainly for pine nuts and acorns, which are an important part of their diet. Whether it's a territorial dispute or romance, things can get a bit feisty. This little chap is a mountain quail, one of 2 native species in this region. Unlike its highly conspicuous cousin, the California quail, this resident is very secretive and rarely seen. It's mid-morning and a respectable time for a grumpy ground squirrel to emerge from his den. The first chore of the day is to shake off the dust and fleas in the hopes to pass them on to somebody else. Next on the busy schedule is a sniff about, a quick head massage, and to make one's way outside to relax and watch the world go by. No day is complete without a good fight, followed by a journey down to the creek for a refreshing drink and maybe a little breakfast. Such is the life for a ground squirrel. Of the numerous ground squirrel communities in this region, there are 2 larger villages of note. Squirrel Town has waterfront real estate overlooking the pond, and Squirrelton is situated farther up on the gulch beneath the scraggly oak and the rustic fence, so not to be confused. Squirrelton's position enjoys excellent views over Gillies Gulch, and the old fence provides an even loftier location to survey the territory for threats. Other facilities include the loose, gritty soil that is second to none for a dust bath and plenty of back massage posts. Unfortunately, the allure of this luxurious rural retreat has attracted squatters. This is Madame Stinker, head of the Stinker family manor, which is in the western wing of Squirrelton. It's been commandeered and re-renovated for larger bodies. It's not common to see skunks during daylight hours, but by early summer things are getting quite cramped despite the extra excavations. Madame Stinker was no doubt hoping for some peace and quiet, but that's not to be. It's like pulling tissues from a box as one comes out and a pile more follow. The manor will need to be expanded to accommodate the growing youngsters, so work commences with the health of the offspring, proving that they have all the faculty of mammary glands on a bullock. Eventually, a tired and irritable mama skunk gives up and retires back to the burrow, while her odoriferous children go off to play beneath the tangled roots of the old oak. Parts of California have experienced an outbreak of lethal rabbit hemorrhagic disease, including our region. For a time, the bloody virus was threatening to decimate the local lagomorph population, so seeing these individuals is an auspicious sign. Straighttail is making a late return to her lair amongst the old combines. She's quite the magician in her ability to be able to vanish, though not always without a trace, as Cricket picks up the scent. Fawns generally begin to drop around late April through May. The first few weeks of their life see them left alone for long periods, with their mothers returning only intermittently to feed and clean them. This is to protect them from predation until they're strong enough to follow their parent and outrun danger. The young are scentless and camouflaged with their spots that will eventually fade with age, and they form strong bonds with their mother. Mortality rates among fawns is high. The abscess on the face of this youngster grew over time and down into the throat. Often, abscesses like this are of little concern. Rarely, they can be a part of a more serious deadly affliction. And devastatingly, such was the case for this youngster. The actual cause of death can only be guessed at, but in short, this little fawn didn't make it. The tiny body won't provide much sustenance, and vicious fights break out amongst the scavengers. What the vultures do leave behind is claimed by coyotes. Many creatures that would otherwise have diurnal preferences but find themselves living in close proximity to humans often adjust their schedules to become more nocturnal. In more remote locations, this black bear has the luxury to enjoy the morning with a bit of a back rub and a sniff around. This is Madame Scruffs, who has a distinctive, unkempt appearance, and this year she's raising 2 cubs displaying quite different coloration. The cheeky chap at the back is the more independent and curious of the two, often straggling behind as they travel. The winter this year has been unusually productive by Californian standards, filling ponds and reservoirs, and ending a drought that seems like it's been in place since Christ was a boy. Soon, the days will grow warmer, and the rolling storms will give way to clear skies, as the land prepares to answer the call of spring.